Welcome to the profile video. This video contains 3 sections. First is a sample sales pitch, which contains a basic overview of profile. And in the second section, we'll give you some guidance for conducting a presentation on profile. In the last section, we'll cover the most frequently asked questions, starting with the general questions, and then the internal-only questions. First up is the sample sales pitch.
Profile is a dimensional solution for walls and ceilings. This product is carved MDF with routed patterns, which can then be specified with any of our rich finishes or can be specified as unfinished and subsequently sanded, primed, and painted in the field to match any color palette. We offer profile in 2 formats: panels, a collection of 4-foot by 8-foot panels, or as tiles, a collection of modular tile designs that are small, modular, and scalable. Tiles allow the designer to create infinite and customized borders for an art feature. For most decorative products, this requires taking a 4-foot by 8-foot panel and fabricating it for the desired effect. With tiles, you can use our online configuration tool to specify where each tile goes to create that design that will be unique to your customer. Tiles can also be combined with any of our C3 colors in the Chroma product line for additional drama in this wall feature. The use of lighting, even a simple track lit solution, can further enhance the beauty of a tiles installation. Tiles start in the mid $30 per square foot, with solutions incorporating Chroma priced in the mid $40. Tiles have a standard Class B fire rating when using our finishes and can also achieve Class A fire rating by specifying our fire rated MDF. This solution is easy to install. Simply use the 3M VHB, which we ship out with the material to adhere the tiles to the wall. Using the fire rated MDF adds $4.50 per square foot. Panels, our 4-foot by 8-foot solution, also looks absolutely stunning with and without lighting. These designs are also available with any of our standard finishes and carry the same fire rating, Class B, the standard specification, and Class A for the fire rated MDF, as our tile product. Panels start at $15 per square foot for unfinished panels and $21 per square foot for the finished panels. Premium finishes cost $24 per square foot. Each of these patterns, edges, matches in both directions, so you can effectively use this for features that are larger in size. We recommend using either panel cleats, Z-clips, or construction mastic for the installation of panels. Proper alignment of the panels along with the strong patterns minimize the appearance of a seam. In a space with well-controlled HVAC, low variance in temperature and humidity, a seamless installation could be used by specifying panels unfinished, then installing with a filler material and sanding, priming, and painting the entire solution. In addition to our standard finishes, both tiles and panels have custom finishes available to them, or can be painted on site after sanding and priming to any custom color. If the installer would prefer, we also offer the product ready to paint, meaning we will provide the material sanded and primed. Simply install the panels and add paint to finish the profile feature. Ready-to-paint panels cost $25 per square foot. Add $10 to the unfinished price.
There's a number of materials that you should use to conduct an effective presentation on studio products. Right now, we'll focus on the materials you should have to present on profile. First, you should have some profile panel samples. Pick and pack and any custom samples are available from sampling. Just pick out your favorite design and colors to highlight in your presentation. You should also have profile tile samples. These are also available from sampling. You'll need the profile finish chain, as well as the overview fold-out brochure that shows the entire studio line. This brochure is a great giveaway to each attendee of your presentation. These color and finish chains wouldn't be used for a product presentation. However, if you have a client who is interested in available finishes for profile that are not in our standard offering, these 3 chains represent those options. They come from SSI, Omnova, and Dacor. If you don't have one of these, you can order them from Azar. Finally, you should have a studio catalog, which shows all of the studio offerings. Each A&D library or firm should have at least one copy of this catalog. We'll now review some of the most frequently asked questions about Profile and give you the information you need to answer those questions. How is Profile installed? There's a variety of possible ways to install Profile panels. Some of the most common ways include the use of Z-clips or panel cleats, screws, or adhesives. To install panels using Z-clips, first, the Z-clips must be attached to the back of the Profile panel. Z-clips should run the entire width of the panel, and special care should be taken with regards to the length and size of the screws used and where the screws are placed so as not to impact the front finish of the panel. Construction mastic or adhesive should also be used to supplement the screws. A minimum of 3 rows of Z-clips is necessary per 8-foot tall panel. Rows of Z-clips should be situated on the top and bottom edge of the panel, with additional rows spaced evenly between. Also, plywood or solid wood in-wall blocking is required. If you're using panel cleats, then they should be installed in the same way as Z-clips. When gluing multiple panels together, it is necessary to leave space at both ends to allow expansion and contraction of the entire panel system. Glued joints should only be used on smaller installations of 2 to 6 panels or when using recommended panel cleats. Panel cleats will allow the entire feature to expand and contract. Profile panels can also be attached to a wall by screwing directly through the panel. Construction mastic should also be used to supplement the screws. It's required to leave a 1/16 inch gap between panels to allow for expansion and contraction of the wood panels. This technique should only be used on non-wrapped panels that will be painted in the field. Holes in the panel should be pre-drilled and countersunk. After screwing the panel to the wall, a non-shrinking filler, like Bondo, may be used to cover the holes. Please note that non-shrinking filler should not be used between panels. Instead, a flexible seam filler should be used. You should also note that this method is limited to a maximum of 6 panels. If you're using an adhesive to glue the panels directly to the wall, it's required to leave a 1/16 inch gap between panels to allow for expansion and contraction of the wood panels. Alignment of the panels prior to curing is important as the panels cannot be realigned afterwards. An industrial-grade silicone such as Momentive Sil Glaze 2 SCS 2800 can be applied to the back of the panels in combination with 3M 4496 foam tape. Silicone should be applied in dots as it needs moisture or air to cure. Again, alignment of the panels prior to curing is important as the panels cannot be realigned after curing. Panel installations more than 16 feet wide should use panel cleats. There's also a variety of possible ways to install profile tiles. 3form recommends using 3M VHB 4496 tape to secure profile tiles to the wall. 3M VHB 4496 is white foam, double-sided tape with permanent adhesive. You should first apply 10 PSF using a J-roller or other application tool. Full cure time for VHB is 72 hours. If I specify unfinished in the field, how should I prep the panel for painting? The rule of thumb is to sand and prime the panel until it's ready to be painted. This may take more than one round of priming and painting. For ready-to-paint finishes, 3form fabrication uses the following steps, which can easily be replicated in the field. First, sand the MDF using Norton Contour Sponge Medium Grit. Then dust the surface using an air blower. Then apply Valspar white vinyl up to 4 mm using an airless sprayer and allow it to dry for 25 minutes. After it's dry, the process is repeated. This time use Norton Contour Sponge Fine Grit for the sanding. Remove the dust with an air blower, apply another coat of Valspar white vinyl, and then allow it to dry for 25 minutes. When this process is finished, the product will be ready to paint in the field. We recommend a water-based paint, such as a latex paint, although some solvent-based paints such as lacquers can also work. Finally, be aware that 3form does not offer an on-site painting service. What if I don't like the seams? What are my options? In many cases, the strength of the pattern can effectively minimize the seams. However, there are more options to address the paneling. The customer can specify the pattern to run parallel to the seam on the 96-inch side. This method can hide the seam really well. Another method is to specify the panel in either small plank or large plank. This way, with the 4x8 panels in smaller pieces, the seams will become part of the design. Lastly, panels can be specified as unfinished. Then, after installation, the seams can be finished and painted for a seamless application. Does the pattern direction repeat in panels? The answer to this question is yes, in most cases. All of the patterns except for ray are designed to continue horizontally along the 4-foot dimension. In addition, all the patterns except for metric, ray, and zing are designed to continue vertically along the 8-foot dimension. It may also be helpful to note that the metric pattern can be modified to continue in the vertical direction by cutting down the panel slightly. Can profile be cut by 3form to fit to my exact wall or ceiling? Panels can be cut down to fit a specific measurement with a small price premium. Tiles, on the other hand, are a modular grid system and therefore can only be fitted to the nearest full tile size. Can profile be fabricated in the field? Profile can be fabricated in the field to accommodate custom dimensions. However, if this is the case, it should be specified as unfinished for post-manufacturing fabrication. Then, after the on-site fabrication is complete, the product will need to be sanded, primed, and finished. What is the fire rating of profile panels and tiles? Well, when it comes to fire rating, there are two specifications that are available: standard and fire rated. Both of these types have been tested for flammability and smoke test with the ASTM E8403 standard, and the results were favorable. First, be aware that standard MDF that is unfinished does not qualify for a fire rating. However, standard MDF with the standard finish received the Class B rating. Fire-rated MDF with the standard finish received the Class A rating. And fire-rated MDF that is unfinished also received the Class A rating. That's pretty good. Where is profile manufactured? If the customer orders a ready-to-paint finish, then the material will be manufactured out of Salt Lake City. Otherwise, profile tiles and panels are manufactured in Tampa, Florida. What are the design options for profile? There's a number of different design options for profile due to the various types of patterns and finishes that are available. As you know, profile comes in panels or tiles. The panels are 48 by 96 inches, and there are 15 standard patterns. Tiles are small and modular and are roughly 4 by 16 inches. For tiles, there are 6 standard patterns. In addition to patterns, customers can also choose from 5 different finish options, which are unfinished, standard finish, premium finish, ready to paint, and chroma. We'll now take a minute to give you a little more detail about these different finishes. Unfinished means no wrap is applied. The panel arrives on site as carved, exposed MDF. For this, we recommend a process of sanding and priming, then sanding and priming again, and then painting. Standard finishes are made out of PVC. There are 21 stock finishes available. Premium finishes are made out of PET, and there are 7 stock finishes available. Ready to paint means that after carving out the pattern, we do the sanding and priming. The panel then arrives on site with a white primer finish, and the painting is done on site. Finally, chroma uses the C3 color system and is only available for tiles. When using C3, we recommend having an opaque back to hide the installation mechanism. This can be done using reflect or whiteout. Also, be aware that chroma tiles do not have the dimension carved on the surface. However, the size and beveling of chroma tiles will perfectly match the rest of the tiles in the pattern. The last design option we'll cover is pattern direction. Specifiers can choose the grain direction on the finish of their tiles. Panels can also be specified to be parallel to the 48-inch side or the 96-inch side. However, finishes with an actual pattern are only available parallel to the 96-inch side. What custom options are there? In addition to standard sizes and finishes, there are some things about profile that can be customized. The 3 main things are custom patterns, custom finishes, and custom gauges. When a custom pattern is requested, there's a certain process that takes place. Here's how it works. First, the customer identifies the desired pattern. Then, Studio Project Management coordinates with the design team to render possible options and close the pattern using current tooling. They'll also communicate options back to the customer. If the customer agrees to one of the patterns, then a custom sample will be created. Finally, after the customer approves the sample, a quote and order will be generated. It's important to note that the sampling and production of custom patterns will result in extended lead times. The exact lead times will be determined during the process and will depend on the complexity of the request and current backlog. There will also be a price premium for final production of custom work. The final cost will be determined at the quoting stage, but again it will depend on the complexity of the request. Finishes can also be customized beyond the standard options. Dacor, SSI, and Omnova supply our standard finishes, and Renolit supplies our premium finishes. These suppliers have many more finishes available than what we show in stock on our website. Customers can pick from any other PVC finishes from Dacor, SSI, or Omnova, or choose from any of the PET finishes from Renolit. Fortunately, most of the finishes do not require a price premium. However, depending on the finish, there may be extended lead times, typically an additional 1 to 2 weeks, and price premiums may apply as well. For custom gauges, slightly thicker gauges can be achieved by starting with a thicker MDF. Both 1-inch MDF and 1 1/4 inch MDF is available. Extended lead times and price premiums will apply and will be determined at the time of quoting. Thinner gauges are not available because the carved patterns will be too deep to successfully work. How many tiles can I get out of a 4x8 sheet? Let's review the tile sheet yield for profile. Each tile type has a different sheet yield. For example, Verve yields 63 full tiles and 24 half tiles. Glide yields 57 full tiles and 24 half tiles. Quarry yields 60 full tiles. Swoon yields 160 full tiles. And Flank provides 28 tiles at various widths. We'll talk more about Flank tile yield in just a moment. But first, be aware that Clear plus Reflect Chroma tiles are available via Direct for $35 per tile. Now, when it comes to Flank tiles, the available width options are 4 tiles at 15.75 inches, 4 tiles at 23.38 inches, 4 tiles at 31.5 inches, 12 tiles at 47.25 inches, and 4 tiles at 71.13 inches. To illustrate how this works, let's look at an example. Let's say a customer needs 200 full tiles and 20 half tiles for quarry. In this case, they would specify 3 sheets of quarry full and 1 sheet of quarry half and full, yielding a total of 228 full tiles and 20 half tiles. Don't forget that Studio Project Management is happy to help calculate an exact quote as long as the number of full and half tiles has already been determined. What finish option is best if the client is concerned about durability? The customer may choose a standard or premium finish for lighter durability concerns, as they hold up better than paint finish. However, a paint finish may be better in the long term because even though paint damages more easily, it can also be fixed and touched up easier. On the other hand, with the exception of white finishes like crystal white, it would be hard to paint and touch up a film finished panel. What are the competitive products to profile? Well, currently there are no competitors for profile tiles, but there are many products with a similar look and feel to profile panels. Let's review some of the main ones. Modular Arts has a product that uses glass reinforced gypsum and comes in pieces that are 30 by 30 inches. Their product has a similar price point for raw materials, but becomes more expensive due to installation costs. Interlam uses MDF and has a wide offering of products including more simple patterns with lower price points. Their product designs that are similar to ours also have a similar price point. However, they charge more for the ability to apply a finish to the product. Texture 3D and Architectural Wall Systems are 2 companies who also use MDF and have similar price points. Bellegarde, Innovative Accents, and BNN are all small competitors as well. What are the sampling options for profile? Panel samples are available in 10 by 10 pick and pack pieces in any standard pattern with a crystal white finish. Customers can also request a 10 by 10 custom piece in any standard pattern, unfinished, or with any of the standard finishes. Tile samples are available as full-size tiles, either as pick and pack or custom. The pick and pack samples can come in any standard pattern with crystal white finish, and the custom samples can come in any standard pattern, unfinished, or with any standard finish. Tiles are also available in the pick and pack chroma color per tiles pattern. Be aware that smaller samples can be requested. In these cases, the larger samples will simply be cut into smaller pieces, such as a 4x4 inch piece.